throughout the course of 2020 and 2021, one of the hardest hit industries was the entertainment industry. And that's something that I think a lot of people continue to overlook. 2020 and 2021 were devastating to all sorts of live performances, theatre, and obviously still movies and TV. And I don't think that we pay enough attention to those poor box office hits that make millions of dollars every year. So, the focus of tonight is bringing to light some of the plights of the most devastated industries. Hello, Buff. So that's what we're going to focus on. And I mean, to start it off, I want to celebrate some of the victories of the weekend box office we've just gone through. Can we just give a massive round of applause to Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise is a man who's never gotten enough love, in my opinion. He's never gotten enough love. Whenever I think of megastars, obviously I never think of one Tom Cruise. He is a man who is remaining elusive throughout history, and he's managed to break his own record. That's the thing that we need to focus on. The weekend just gone has proven to make it the case that Tom Cruise has outdone himself. He's outdone himself. And well done to him. And it's nice to see, because it means that people are going back to the cinema. People are in theatre seats. And that's something that we do need to focus on. There is a revival of the cinema format. And that's fucking brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, some people may be aware, something else happened over the weekend. There was a series of memes, I would say, a series of memes that, well, I'm just going to let the article speak for itself. Morbius memes have gotten so big, the movie's headed back to theaters. That's right. The Morbius memes hashtag this morning was getting 2,700 tweets per hour. On Friday, I think it peaked at around 4,000 tweets per hour. And that's just one of many. It's Morbin time. All of this has contributed to Sony thinking that they made a good film that people are interested in. And I think that it's something we need to focus more on. What we need to also look at, the movie is seeing a return to over 1,000 theaters. This was written on the 4th of June, so this was 2 days ago from recording. 2 days ago. It was pushed into another 1,000 theaters. Now, the thing about Morbius is it did pretty well. Morbius did pretty well as far as box office is concerned. Like, it made back, depending on whatever the budget figure you take is, twice back what it spent. And that's just going to be the case whenever you slap Marvel on something and then put it in cinemas. That's always just what you're going to expect. At least your profit's back and then some. You're always going to have a successful film. And that's the thing. Morbius isn't really a flop. A lot of people think it is. I mean, critics-wise, it's shit, of course. But it hasn't done poorly. And that's simply because if you slap Marvel on anything these days, it does well. It does do well. Now, it got me thinking, why would you threaten your own success? So I had to look into how much it might cost to put your film into 1,000 theaters, to have 1,000 screens showing your film. So with 25,000 theaters, it's around 25 million. Now, taking into account the fact that this is probably for establishment fees as well, promotional material and that kind of thing, which Morbius did already have. So using this 25,000 to 25 million, if it's in not 25,000, 2,500, sorry. Using this figure, 1,000 theaters would mean $10 million. Let's cut that in half. Generously, let's cut that in half, right? $5 million is what it would have cost to put Morbius back into theaters because of this. Because of this. Now, A movie is considered a flop when it doesn't make its money back, right? A movie is considered a flop when you spend more money making your film than what you get back. And so that got me thinking, how well did it do on its re-release? You know, it's been put back into 1,000 theaters. With that being the case, using a kind of generous 5 mil, cut it in half, it wouldn't be 5 mil, it would probably be more. How well did it do? Shu, hello, lovely to see you. We are talking about Morbius. Obviously, at this point, you know, in summary, we think it's costing around $5 million to get back into 1,000 theaters because it went back into theaters because of all the memes. So you'd hope that putting it into 1,000 screens, you'd want to make at least 5 million, maybe 7. More pussy. It is kind of mediocre. It didn't do well on Accord, but it did do well initially. So looking at that figure, that $5 million figure, and then looking at the definition of a flop, Morbius only earned $85,000 on Friday after returning to theaters. Marvel and Sony spent $5 million, roughly, $5 million to make $85,000 because of the power of Twitter. $85,000 across 1,000 screens. That's $85 per viewing. $85 fucking dollars per viewing. In their excitement to re-release their film, they unwittingly turned Morbius into a legitimate flop. Statistical flop. A statistical flop, which is never going to look good for your film. I mean, the Sony Marvel kind of tagline is basically in the mud unless it's animated or Marvel has the reins. It is a ridiculous investment. Jared Leto's critically panned Morbius has become such a popular internet meme that Sony, in one of the more glaring examples of misreading the moment, brought it back to 1,000 theaters. It averaged $289 in ticket sales per theater. Per theater. Now, that is not going to make your money back if you're rolling it back out to 1,000 theaters. And in the interest of trying to silence brand, I think we should take David C. Bell's stance. Of course, the Morbius re-release failed. All our memes were about wanting a Morbius TV show. Sony, make us a Morbius TV show and we'll watch it for sure. Now, that's the thing. Let's get them to make a longer form format. It left theaters and then Sony execs thought Morbius memes meant that it wanted to come back. That's exactly right. It left theaters because it wasn't making money anymore. And so it came back because everyone was talking about it. Now, we've examined what's happened here, right? The massive hubbub about It's Morbin Time, the hilarious meme, has resulted in a re-release, which fucking busted for them. It fucking busted for them. So what did they do? Sony greenlights Morbius sequel, Paramount Plus and Disney Plus streaming service, release at date early 2024. Now, this may not be real, but I'm going to assume it is because I really want to think so. Sony looked at what happened over the weekend. And went, this is exactly what the people want, what the people need. This is what they've been asking for. After 4,700 tweets per hour at one point, we need Morbius 2. It's Morbin time. It's happening, baby. Morbius sequel in the works. Greenlit. Greenlit means it's gone past the point of getting approved by the board. I hope that the internet has built enough power to start dunking on huge multi-billion-dollar companies. Do you guys remember what happened with Sonic? Do you guys remember how heavily Sonic was bullied into making itself better? And now there's some of the best kind of kids films out there. But this is kind of the end of my rant about Morbius. It's kind of the end of my rant about Morbius. But the thing is, I just kind of wanted to provide a perspective as to how well it did in countries outside of the US, because the outcry resulted in more screenings in the US. But I'm in Australia, so I was looking at the weekend box office charts. The weekend box office charts for the weekend, not even just gone, but the one before that. And even in the one before that, I had to do something, right? Hang on. I had to Control F to find it. And I was like, hang on, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it in any of the listings. Oh, hang on. It's in trending movies. Morbius wasn't playing in Australia. Morbius made no money from Australia. Morbius made no money from Australia, yet 1,000 extra screenings in the US and Morbius 2. I don't know what else we should say about this, but internet, keep it up, bro. Keep it up. This is actually leading on Sony and Marvel, which is so funny. Continue to let them think that they're doing something right. Continue to let them think they're doing something right. Waste their money. Yeah, the 1,000 extra screenings were in the US only. So, look, that's all I wanted to cover on Morbius. I did a little bit of research into it. Hope you enjoyed my little rant. It'll basically finish up now. I'm going to look at some memes and shit. But I just wanted to, like every other motherfucker on the internet who has a beard and is white, just talk about the epic failure that Marvel managed. Well, Sony managed.